Welcome to Financial Education. Today I want to go over how much money do you actually need to save every year to retire without sacrificing anything in lifestyle. Everyone always says that you need to save about 15% of your income to, have as much in retirement as you do now, but that's actually slightly misleading. So, when you're 20 years old or before you're 30, 15% seems okay, but actually, if you want to retire at 60, then at 20 years old, you need to start saving 15% of your income. And I could have just as well called this compound interest tutorial because that's basically what it is all about. So, if you start at 20, then yes, 15% of your income saved every year over the course of 40 years will in the end provide enough income for you to live without sacrificing lifestyle at all. But how does it work when you're 30? The answer is you need to save double what you saved at 20. So if you're only starting when you're 30 years old and you still want to retire at 60, you need to be saving 30% of your income. Now, it gets hairy at this point because 30% of your income is a lot of money. So, what you're missing out on is the whole compound interest from the first 10 years. And the compound interest over 40 years is so significant that the initial investment is basically doesn't really matter at that point. At 6% interest, you double your money every 10 years. So, say you want to have $1 million when you retire. The compound interest alone means that if you have $500,000 when you're 50, you'll have $1 million when you're 60. So when you're 40, you need to have $250,000 saved up. So when you're 30, you need to have $125,000 saved up. So saving that initial $125,000 is better than, starting at 50 and having to save up, or starting at 40 and having to save up $500,000 until you're 50. So, if you're 30 years old, you want to retire at 60, you need to save up 30% of your income to not cut down on lifestyle in retirement. If you're 40, you need to save up 60% of your income. You only have 20 years to save up the whole amount, which, should be at least $1 million. So you need to save up 60% of your income, which I don't know a lot of people who can live on 40% of what they actually earn, especially when taxes takes up so much of it. And I mention taxes because if you're saving up in a 401k, you're going to be paying taxes on the money saved. So how does that change when you're going from 40 to 50? Say you're 50 years old, you haven't started saving, and you want to retire at 60 without a cut down in lifestyle at all. And the answer is around 175% of your income. So, say you make $40,000, you want to have $40,000 every year when you're 60. That means you currently need to save $72,000. I'm not sure how that all works out with the math and everything, saving over 100% of your income. Seems like if you have money coming in somewhere else, you should be saving that. But, that's basically what it comes down to. And at this point, you could also make a guess at where you should be saving money. If you're saving over 15% from the time you're 20 years old, you should be working on a Roth IRA because tax-free money later is going to be worth more than investing tax-free money now. If you're saving anything less than these numbers right here, you should be working on your 401k and investing the pre-tax money that you have because you're going to be paying a lower interest rate in retirement than you are now. So, try never to be below 15% of your income saved and try to start when you're 20. Obviously, without a time machine, that's going to be pretty hard. So, you're going to have to cut down in your lifestyle significantly. Let's say you're 40, you have nothing saved. It's never too late to start, but you're probably going to have to either make some cutbacks or retire later. You know, the step from 60 to 65 is very significant in all of these cases. If you start saving when you're 20 and you have that $1 million saved when you're 60, those 5 years of compound interest is going to be very significant. If you start saving at 40 and say you have $400,000 saved up when you're 60, that 5 years with compound interest is also very significant, especially since you can contribute more and really raise that income in retirement a lot more. So that's it for the how much should you save, and it's a lot more than you think. I actually know one person that saves more than 15% of their income, and they're in their 20s. So it's a difficult road, but it's never too late to start, and try to save as much as you can. You're going to have to make the decision later on whether or not you want to work longer or cut down your expenses. Obviously, if you get your house paid off, for example, that's going to be a significant reduction in your payments, and so you don't need as much to live off at that point. Feel free to subscribe if you want more personal finance or stock market videos. I post a video every day before market open.